Hello everyone, I'm Jack and I'm back, and let me show you what I'm up to. So this is what you see in the background is the passenger side front fender for the C8/GT40/Pagani. Now what's in the foreground here is what I did was I took my chop strand mat or CSM and made a pattern. I put it on top of there and then cut out. So you can see there's an inner line and an outer line, and the inner line is the actual edge. The outer line is overlap, and the reason why is because if you make them dead even, it's hard to get the two separated when it's finally cured. Around the fender, I cut the fender lip, and then I put slots in there so that it could be bent at a 90-degree angle. All right, and then the other thing is this one is C. I made 4 of these, labeled them A, B, C, and D, and then I have alignment marks. These actually overlap an inch and a half, whatever, and then I put alignment marks. I just made a little star that it meets there, so that way when I'm putting it on the part, I know where it aligns. And of course the black marks align with certain features. So if you come over and you look at the part, you can see there's my black outline, and then the white on the outside is the extra. What else? Oh, the white that you see there. What happened was I got up early this morning trying to get a bunch done, and it was 99% humidity. I did have everything setting to where this was facing down, the backside was up. Didn't think it mattered, but apparently there was enough moisture in the air that the moisture got to the fiberglass. Now the thing is, that's probably going to be cut off, so it's not a big deal. And even if it was a big deal, there's a layer of fiberglass underneath it. That's 2 layers of carbon fiber, I'm sorry, chop strand mat, CSM. Another screw up I made was I worked too slow. And so what happened is the fiberglass mat started hardening before I got all the air bubbles out. Once it starts doing that, there's nothing you can do. You push it down and it will pop right back up. It doesn't matter here because there are 3 layers. This is the overlap area, and there was quite a bit of overlap, so I didn't worry about it. I'll hit it with a grinder and grind it smooth, even though it doesn't even matter if it's ground smooth. Let's see, I think that's it. So this has been curing for, I don't know, I started at 7 this morning, so it's been curing for several hours. All right, so now the next thing to do is take it apart. The other thing is I use these clips to hold, because the wind, I don't know if you noticed in the other video, the wind, I had this set up on end and the wind kept trying to blow this away and pull it off of there. So I use these clips because fiberglass resin doesn't stick to them real well. It's just not completely oblivious to it, but it mostly is. And again, this edge is also an edge that should be easy to pull out. Now there is mold release and what else did I use? Oh, PVA. So theoretically this thing should just pop right off. My luck with PVA has not been so great these days. There's been cases where it actually acted like it glued it there. It is water soluble, but that does not mean it easily dissolves with water. It will eventually dissolve with water, but not easily. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to separate this and see if it works. It might work, it might not. If it works, great, you'll be able to see me get it off. If it doesn't work, then I'll probably stop instead of having you watch for hours as I do it, or I'll change it to time lapse. That's what I'll do. All right, so let's go ahead and set this up. There we go. All right, so Let me get this out of the way. And so there's 2 of these pairs on that one. That's all I'm going to do. So it's about 1/10 of an inch thick total. And then there's 2 more to do the other one, which is sitting there waiting. I was hoping to get all this done today. It's not, well, it's still kind of early today. We'll see. All right, so let's take these clips off. And of course, this thing gets heavy with every extra layer I put on it. All right, drum roll. This might just pop off. Oh, the other thing is the edges. I did not have a clean edge. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll put a piece of the aluminized tape on there. Let me make sure this is pointed the right direction. Yep, it is. So I'll put aluminized tape on there. So it makes it very easy to release from the edge, but I didn't want to hassle with it here. I did spray PVA really heavy around these edges, but if it does stick, that's where it's going to stick. All right, I do have my same little air levelers. So what I'm going to do, and use these wedges here to get it started. And if I need to, I'll use those air levelers. So this is a nice sharp edge right here. It's those other edges that aren't as good. So theoretically, I should be able to grab a hold of this and lift up. And this should just pop loose. And so far, this edge is coming loose really, really well. All right, so I am going to go ahead and slide this in here. And I could just keep on prying, but I like doing it this way. All right, so I got there. Then all I do is pump it up. All right, that's pumped up. Take the next one, slide it in, and pump it up. Now, because I think that edge is going to be a challenge and this edge, that's why I'm working from this way. And once I get this loose, I've got a lot of leverage from there to there, just using the farm. Hopefully I don't need to worry about that, but we'll see. All right, I think that's as far as that one's going to go. And let me do the third one. And if you listen, it's popping loose on its own, which is good. All right, so I can stick my hand in between over here. All right, this one came loose. I will deflate it. And move it as far this way as I can. A little windy, but they're operable.
How are you, sir?
Doing all right. How about you? Good.
Set up.
Yeah, just that like that. Thanks.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too. Another package delivered. Don't know what it is, but I think it is probably another radio controlled body. always the very edge. Well, I might have to break this and use some water. Now, I used to stick my hand in there, but I ended up scratching up my hand really a lot. So that's why I prefer to do it this way. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's just going to pop loose. And rather than try it, I'm going to try using some water. I need to move the fiberglass to make sure it doesn't get wet, because we've already seen what that will do. Okay. Now, if you remember, I painted this primed it and painted it. I'm going to lift this up so the water flows down there. And then while that's soaking, I'll move these. it's getting close to the point that I will probably switch to time lapse. It's not wanting to let loose. Alright, so I am going to stop the video and then switch over to time lapse. So let me set this down. And I'm going to use the trash can to prop this up so the water will go where I want it to. There we go, much better. And so before I stop, soften up the PVA, and I will switch this over to time lapse. Like, subscribe, hit the alert, hit the thanks if you want to donate, and if you don't like what I'm doing, you don't know Jack. Bye.